Hey yo, what is going on guys, and welcome to another video on my channel. Today we are back for our debut in the Hypercar series around Le Mans Ultimate Bahrain. We're driving the Aston Valkyrie V12 sound, beautiful car, and also a car where you can actually slide the car around quite a bit. It's not the fastest, the BOP is actually quite bad around it. Usually the fastest cars are something like the Ferrari LMH. This is, I don't know if it's an LMH, I think it is. But this was my first race, my first session, first qualifying also in this category, and we were struggling to get away with it. There was literally my first run with low fuel. Before I was always running full fuel tank in practice, and we are still playing around with the TC and also the ARB. So there's a lot to fine-tune, especially the ARB. I'm honestly a little bit disappointed about one thing in Le Mans Ultimate, and I realized that now in this and the race afterwards, because after this race I did another race in the Ferrari, and the cars couldn't be more different. Obviously there will be differences, different manufacturers, different sort of behavior, different physics, but I'm not too cool with series being called fixed when you then have to tune the setup completely on the ARB and whatsoever. Honestly, different ARB settings, they make such a huge difference, guys. You can't imagine. Like, honestly, if you run the default settings on the Aston Martin, you're nearly a second off. Like, honestly, I think it costs you nearly 1 second. But anyways, we qualified P2, and now we nearly jumped the start to get away off the line, because I was thinking when it switched to the hold speed that we can go, but no. So now we are lowering the TC, we're trying to get a good start, good reaction time, but the car behind, you can see, a purple Ferrari actually gets an insane start. And P1 is currently in P2, we had a better launch than him, but obviously he has the inside, we have to be careful because behind, cold tires as always in Le Mans Ultimate is super scary, and you just need to navigate through turn 1. We're side by side with the guy, I think, that had this amazing start behind us, but he gets a slowdown or at least something. Oh no, that is actually not the same guy, but we are able to hold off into turn 4 and survive the first sector with this move. But yeah, okay, it's quite tricky, honestly. Le Mans Ultimate, cold tires, lap 1. I don't know what you can actually do before the start to get the tires a little bit more heated up, because I feel like sometimes other drivers have a little bit more temp than me, but maybe it's also just a skill issue. I don't know. If you know better than me, then please advise me in the comments below. And give me a tip, guys. Give me a tip, because I really enjoy this game and I want to get good at it. But yeah, I can only say one thing, and when you get used to only one car, it will benefit you in terms of pace on that car, but in general, it is still quite tricky. The Ferrari, for example, I am not used to the way of driving these LMH cars, because they have the battery, according to my chat, at the front of the car, and so you have to kind of brake in a counterintuitive way. Usually you get taught, if you trail brake, yeah, you get the weight on the front because you trail into the corner, you hold the brake so the weight stays on the front, you have more grip. But actually, whilst we are passing the first lap car, and now the carnage begins, because you can see turn 1 also, P1 overshoots a little bit, we make a little bit of contact but not much, and it's gonna get feisty here, it's gonna get feisty between us. But yeah, so in the LMH cars, you actually, by less trail braking, you will be faster, because you will have more. Well, I think the battery is kind of holding it back, because you're recharging while it's braking. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just not giving you the rotation. So if you roll the car towards the apex, you have more rotation in the Ferrari, whilst in, for example, the Aston Martin Valkyrie, because it doesn't have the battery there, you don't have to change anything or like whatsoever, it's just the engine. You can actually still trail brake. So yeah, this car suits me more. This is more like the F1 driving style. But in general, it's something I have to get used to. I'm not a big fan of it, because in most sim racing games, you really want to trail brake a lot. Basically, any sim racing game, you like trail braking is the way to gain a lot of lap time. And on this game now, it seems like it is, but not in this car. And so if you drive this car, you get used to some weird patterns. let's just maybe focus on this race. But let me know your thoughts below, what you think about this stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of it, and we have to slice through the traffic. We're giving the Ferrari a little... no, we didn't give him a flash, but staying in the slipstream, getting out of it as late as possible. And now we're trying to benefit off the traffic, obviously, because we realized we have better pace than the car ahead. And I got a little bit frustrated because of that. I literally got a little bit frustrated because I couldn't pass him. The Aston Martin has no good straight line speed, but the car ahead now is making a slight mistake, I think. Yeah, he's not passing too efficiently, but actually he's a very, very good guy. He also messaged me in the chat, so in case you're watching, greetings to you, man. Good pace. And he was driving the Toyota, so I don't know if the Toyota is better in straight line speed, but I think in the corners it's a little bit worse. The Valkyrie is obviously then better in the corners. And yeah, we are still trying to benefit from any sort of mistakes that could happen. I mean, now we have this huge train ahead. You can see on the minimap, it's getting more and more tight with the traffic, and mistakes usually happen by that. So we're trying to pass with him as much as we can. He's making the way, we can prepare for it, and then we can also benefit by having a better exit, whilst he has to first create this gap. So it's a win-win for us. For him, it's a kind of loss, but if he one time passes the car where we can't slice through, then it's looking really bad for us. But at the moment, a lot of traffic. We're getting the slipstream of the Porsche. Now cutting back into the racing line. And this is going to get interesting now, because there's too much. I was thinking of going to the left, but the GT was swerving to the left. Now he's feeling the pressure. He's going wide. We are side by side into the next corner. He gets ahead of us again. But can we go for a move here? There's another car on the right, and I didn't notice that too well. And in this moment, even though it was my mistake, I was thinking it was his arrow. He turned in on me. I thought it was on purpose. It's not true. I looked at the replay. We will also see it at the end. That was fully my mistake. And this Lexus guy on the right, man, he held the pace through the hairpin with the Toyota. That's actually crazy. I know he was on the inside, but still pretty impressive. And let's see. Now in this lap, we are trying to go for another ambitious move because we need to get by. We really need to get by. We also have damage from hitting the Ferrari. And yeah, we just, because honestly it sounds like an excuse, but we have the single screen, and it is an excuse. We should do better, but I can only see what we saw there, and it's really hard to judge for me what's going on. So I could have used more of the road on the left. The Aston Martin is super slidey on the brakes, and so we understeered into him. We are also having a look at that, but I think it was a bit too aggressive. We were still alongside, so maybe you can also say rubbing is racing. The guy that we were racing, he was actually saying it's fine. It wasn't a fair move, so he didn't complain. But I will let you guys decide about it, and when we see the replay in the end, I'm actually not sure. I think I cut out the part where I hit the Ferrari. That was in the same lap where he actually where we made the first contact. In the third sector, at the final corner, I accidentally hit a GT car. So I think I cut it out, unfortunately. Sorry for that, but that's where the damage came from. And now I'm taking you on board for our fastest lap of the race, because you can see in the top right, we are on a 46.5, and we were hitting that quite consistently. I think mid 46s in this car is pretty competitive in the fixed. And you can see also in the bottom left, we were playing around with the ARB, with the traction control, with the TC power cut, slip angle, everything. And also I was using the TC override in a couple of these corners like here, just to make sure we don't get any unnecessary understeer. And let's see if we can improve a little bit more in sector 3. We get a pretty decent exit and gain half a tenth. Now we have another car ahead, but we should be able to pass him cleanly and still make the braking zone without being too distracted by him. And so we hit the brakes, hopefully not slide too much. It's not perfect, but it is something, and you can see I am not too happy because I wanted to cross into the freeze, but it's a 46.421, which is actually P2 on the actual leaderboards now into the final lap. I wanted to go for another push lap, but we had traffic ahead of us, so we couldn't actually go for the fastest lap anymore. And the lap before had so many mistakes, so we could have probably done a low 46. 46.2, 46.1. I think that's doable with the Aston Martin, so it's a pretty quick car, actually. And it is not made for this track. But coming around the final corner, guys, if you enjoy this, you know what to do. Please support the channel so we can keep growing it. I can keep making content for you guys, and we keep on growing this amazing community that you guys are. I love LMU. If you want to see more, let me know. And this is the incident now. On this lap also, we hit the Ferrari in the rear, and you can see, yeah, this is fully my fault. But again, on the single screen, I couldn't judge it properly. There, it's too aggressive, way too aggressive. Like there, you can't see anything, only his car.
Simracing stewards, aufgepasst.
And
Kiefer in den Knast.
You can see there's so much space on the left. That was the move. We were ahead. Technically, he was also somewhat turning in, but I don't know. I think it's very hard racing. You can actually see, this is what you would see on a triple screen still. You could judge it better. I could not. Sorry for that. A little bit of a dirty move, in my opinion. But we still got our first win on debut. An amazing fight. Lots of cool battles and some sort of progression with a very, very quick hot lap. Guys, what do you think? Do you want to see more LMU? And there's also the leaderboard, which I will show you in a second. There we are. I will see you in the next video. Have a great day. You're Marcel. Take care. Peace.